From Japan to Motown, 7 miles to Fulton Street, there is the word unrehearsed, hungry for truth, not always found in the poetry scene. Without a musical backdrop to make your head get loose, cause it's the words we speak leaking messages to and from our youth. Poetry shows how verse is always fundamental. In case you're still confused, this is not an instrumental. Poetry shows how verse is always fundamental. In case you're still confused, this is not an instrumental. This is not an instrumental. There's an afro ready to bloom and a flower waiting to die. Maybes killing maybes and somebody knows why. In slavery we trust, complacent with nothing much. Eat your people's humanity over politics at lunch. I got a hunch you're gonna make it to the big time. We didn't create it yet, we think we have the right to desecrate the rhyme. With rights come responsibility. Bring the truth with the prophet's humility. You be killing me and killing you, and those other two that came with you who thought they knew. A rhyme was talking about your silly crew. In lieu of all the death, there's to be nothing left. So because of things we taught to the blind and the once deaf, lyrics are already outlawed on major radio stations. Conversations are a fantasy and there's a chocolate candy named after the Temptations. Follow me to where the music always plays. The Boston ball is tripping cause the world cares what you say. Lyrical police are unleashed as we try hard to say the least. Still there is no such thing as silence before the peace. Still there is no such thing as silence before the peace. Musical inflation on the rise, watch the voice increase. Keep me out your stores, I kick my poetry on the street. In my pants there is no crease. Academically elite, please take a seat. Welcome to the reality, the poor and the nameless. Too poetic to get famous. Stuck in a daily dose of Dean, sitting on the broken knees of Uncle Ramus. Blame us, the hip-hop generation, for taking poetry back to where it started. Corners of city blocks, rolling dice on a hill. In the alley in your aunt's basement, at a protest in Harlem, prepared to be killed. It was about politics and courage and the integrity of being an artist. Sonia, Gil Scott, and the last poet still talk about it. From Japan to Motown, 7 miles to Fulton Street, there is the word unrehearsed, not always found in the poetry scene. Without a musical backdrop to make your head get loose, cause it's the words we speak, leaking messages to our youth. Poetry shows how verse is always fundamental. In case you're still confused, this is not an instrumental. My name is Grace and I'm married to hip-hop. Buried under slow sand, dirty around my knees, I draw with brown hands. Choke for air, breathe for no one unless the mic's check. Turn off the light, raise my head, give the sun love. It isn't here yet. Reach in my pocket, watch the real clock with my eyes closed. I hear the tick, I grab my bit, at least that's how the story goes. Traveling with 4 pockets, just trying to find my way home. But all I got is the sun, 2 pieces of lint, and 4 new poems. On my journey there'll be many that I meet. Sniff out the vibe, check the label closer for the other white meat. I press delete, and a new poem begins. It's not a coincidence, since without a princess there is no prince. And Cinderella's left shoe has been missing ever since. She went commercial and thought she'd be better off alone. She drove herself to the mall, sold her carrots for tiny stones. Some call them diamonds, she traded them for blue eyes. And now when she blinks, truth sound like lies. Some call them diamonds, she traded for blue eyes. And now when she blinks, truth sound like lies. When I go home to Detroit, I love eating chili fries. And I hope that all this sounds written and rehearsed. When you think of poetry, please listen both ways before crossing the verse. Sign my name in Hebrew, black girl juice can really heal you. It doesn't matter how big your words if the people can't feel you. It doesn't matter how big your words if the people can't feel you. From Japan to Motown, 7 miles to Fulton Street, there is the word unrehearsed that always found in the poetry scene. Without a musical backdrop to make your head get loose, cause it's the words we speak leaking messages to our youth. Poetry shows how verse is always fundamental. Poetry shows how verse is always fundamental. In case you're still confused, this is not an instrumental.